Good morning to all the participants. We'll be beginning shortly. We request you to please stay with us. A very good morning to all. Welcome to today's webinar, Be an Influence for the Personal Grooming and Image Building series. Thank you for joining us today. Mission Skills is an initiative by the prestigious BK Birla Autonomous College and NEST Academy for encouraging the aspiring young minds to develop and enhance their next-gen skills. This initiative is for the youth from colleges across the country. We are grateful to respected Director Dr. Naresh Chandra Sir, Principal Dr. Avinash Patil Sir, and Dr. Harish Dubey Sir for providing us the opportunity to conduct these sessions. I would like to welcome Dr. Harish Sir to please share a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Gwen ma'am. On behalf of PK Birla College, I extend a warm welcome to Mrs. Gwen, the certified leadership coach from the John Maxwell's team. Today happens to be the World Environment Day, and I wish to wish everyone a very happy Environment Day. And I feel with the presence of Gwen ma'am today and with her talk on the leadership skill and how to influence everyone, today's environment is going to be more charged and more blessed. And I think it is going to be very fruitful and very enlightening talk by Gwen ma'am. I was interacting with her, so I could make out that today's session is going to be very enriching and very exciting for all the young minds. And once again, ma'am, on behalf of BK Birla College, I welcome you all and I thank you for accepting our invitation to deliver your talk today. Thank you very much, everyone. We shall meet again at the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. All the participants, I would just request you that if during the session if you have any questions, you can put them into the Q&A box, and in between the session we'll be using polls. So a pop-up box will be opening up on your screens. All you have to do is select the right answers. As they say, a very famous quote by John Maxwell himself: leadership is not about titles, position, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing the other. Whatever your age, it doesn't matter which career you are pursuing or what your aspirations are. You can increase your impact on others by becoming a person of influence. Let's learn some insightful ways to interact more positively with others. I'm very glad that today we have Ms. Gwen Athaide with us. Like Harish sir said, yes, she has achieved a lot. She has been Miss India, Miss Athletic, and winner of Miss Maharashtra in 2005. She has also won Channel V's Get Gorgeous Season 5 and later has hosted the channel's Gizmo show. She has worked with some of the renowned fashion designers and brands in India. She is also a certified John Maxwell coach, Marshall Goldsmith certified executive coach, emotional intelligence coach, and she has been adding value to hundreds of young minds by using leadership training tools to maximize their growth. Let's see a few glimpses from Gwen ma'am's session.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through.
Good morning, and thank you, Sneha ma'am. Really, I appreciate everything that you have done so far and you continue to do. You are a great host. And good morning to 100, 509, 10. Oh my goodness, it's going up. Our participants who are joining. I am so excited that you're here in today's session. It's going to be interactive, it's going to be funny, and you are going to learn a lot from some of the intense things that I want to teach you about being an influencer. I have been in the industry for over 2 decades, and I have seen people use the power of influence for good and how they have worked their way through it. I believe influence is all about leadership. So, leadership comes not from a position, but leadership comes from you being able to lead your life. Okay, so I want that chat box to go on with all your questions. I am more than happy to answer your questions after the end of the session. But we are going to start, Sneha ma'am, if we can, with our first slide.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we're waiting for it to pop up. Till then, I want to know from you, who have you been influenced by? Okay, so leadership, yes, this is great. Okay. Leadership is all about influence. So this interconnected, right? Leading yourself to be able to influence those around you. It's nothing more or nothing less. I know all of you all have your notebooks, and I know all of you all have your pens, so you're going to be taking notes today. Yes? We are going to ask a polling question before we get into influence. Okay? And I'm going to ask you, who do you influence? I know that this is a time when we are watching a lot of things online, we are being influenced by people, but I want to know, who do you influence? Do you influence your friends? Do you influence your neighbors? Have you the capacity to influence your teachers? Or do you influence your cat? You know, we think influence is so difficult, but actually we are influencing people all the time. Do you know an average person has the capacity every day to influence up to 15 people? So you're influencing people on the phone, you're influencing people when you go out, when you're going and buying things, you're influencing your family, you're influencing your cousins. So you're always in a mode of influencing people. Okay, so we're gonna see this. Wow, friends are number one at 81. Great, Sneha ma'am. We'll continue. Wow.
Yes, ma'am, please continue. Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, I know you have your paper and your pen. So I need you right now to draw me a compass, which is a circle. Okay, so you're going to draw a circle just like this. I think you can see it. Okay, you're going to draw a circle which has north, south, east, and west. Okay, on your circle, you're going to draw north, south, east, and west. And in the center of your circle is a dot. In the center of your circle is a dot, which is self-leadership. You're going to write self-leadership. Okay. So in this position of the circle of your compass is north, south, east, and west. And your position is in the center with self-leadership. Okay, so why am I doing this with you? Because I want you to see the visual of the circle, which is in the north. You have people with position, power, who are above you, who you have the capacity to influence. You have people in the south who are younger than you, who have less experience than you, who are still learning their way through, who you also have the power to influence. So those could be your friends, your cousins, people around you in your society, people that you're chatting with. So you have those. And then on your east and west, you have people your same age. So your peers in the same age group. Okay. Now, when you look at this, the possibility of influence is big, right? And in your timeline of influence, the longer you stay and the ability you have to remain in the position of influence will help you to grow. Okay, so we're going back into the slide right now where influence is not about position. Most people think that when I become this big famous celebrity, then I'm going to have 1 million followers and then I will be able to influence them. I want to change that for you. You are in the capacity to influence people right where you are today because you are always interacting with people. We go to the next slide. Okay. Okay, what are some of the methods of influencing people? Okay, I am going to okay. So we have people who use force where there is no choice. You say, I am your elder brother or I am your elder sister and I am going to say there's no choice. You have to listen to me. Okay. Also force, I'm a parent and sometimes it can be where I say, maybe I'm going to use force to influence this decision, but that is not a good way to influence people. Okay. Where there's no, you give no one a choice and you say, it's my way. This is how it's done. Intimidation is my way or highway. So you listen to me. If you don't listen to me, bye. So this is what we do sometimes with friends. We force them and saying, you will do what I say, otherwise bye to this friendship. Okay, so that also is not a good way to influence people. Manipulation, again, is not a good way to influence people because in manipulation, someone is a winner and the other one is a loser. So what happens in manipulation, the needs to want to win is so strong that you don't really care about people and you're okay with them losing. Okay, this is not a positive attitude of an influencer. Then we go to getting even better, where we follow people because we have to. Why? Because they have a position. Okay, so today you are in the time where you're studying, you are at the time of your life where you're getting to a higher position, but in 5 years from today, when you're in your workplace, where you have established maybe your own business as an entrepreneur, and now you have a position, and you have people that have to follow you because they're going to get money at the end of the month. Okay, so people who use position to say, I'm going to influence your decisions, is again not the best way of influence. But when we move on to a better zone is exchange, where we both can win. Okay, so how can we both win in this situation? Is when influencers start getting better and people love them. Okay, and in influence, the best place to be is respect, where you respect people, where people matter, where you value people, and that's why people are influenced. Okay, so when I see a lot of influencers, the maximum that works with them is their ability to understand people, is the ability to give value to people. Okay, so we're going to jump into a very interesting video of this young girl, because for us, most of us think influencers are people with position, influencers are celebs, you know, and what is the age criteria for an influencer? Okay, so we'll see a short video. Sneha ma'am, can we pull out a video?
At just 16 years old, our next guest is already changing the world. Look at her.
Humanity is now standing at a crossroads. We must now decide which path we want to take.
A teenager from Sweden called the Voice of the Planet leads a global youth movement and has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
We are in the midst of the sixth mass extinction. Our house is falling apart. Our leaders need to start acting accordingly.
Her actions started with a solitary strike outside Sweden's parliament last year.
And now, look at what her movement has become.
Students and workers all around the world are flooding the streets demanding action on climate change. 1.4 million kids across dozens of countries joined her in the streets.
But it's looking to be the largest climate protest in our planet's history.
Now she's taking her message to the other side of the Atlantic.
Greta Thunberg has completed her sailboat trip to attend a United Nations Global Warming Conference.
Thunberg refused to fly here because of the carbon footprint of traveling by plane.
You all come to us young people.
Okay, 1.4 billion people she has influenced at such a young age, and she continues to do it, winning Nobel Prizes, speaking to the highest of highest people in position, in power, trying to change mindsets. So just imagine, I mean, she had the courage to do it at such a young age, and imagine what you can do with your life. Imagine the power of your voice when you choose to say, I am going to start influencing people. I'm going to be a right influencer, and I'm going to start today, because I'm not going to wait for when the position comes to me. I'm going to be honest right now, be a true good influencer, and change mindsets. Okay, so it's all about changing mindsets, being positive. On the other side of influence, what could there be? There could be negative influence, right? Where we are not really sure of something, and we could say, hey, you know, this guy Smith, you know, I thought I saw him do something with money. I think he's not really honest with money. And then you have people around you saying, really, Smith is not honest with money? And in the next weeks, you realize that there's this whole rumor going around that Mr. Smith is not good with money, or Mr. John, or Mr. or Ramu, or whatever, you know. We make up these stories and influence the minds of people in a negative way. And what happens on the way is when people check who started with this story that is not true, is when it all comes back to you. And people say, why did you even start something like this? You know, why did you start influencing the minds of people in the wrong way? And this is an example. And so many times in our lives, we do it out of a mistake, right? We just don't really know the actual story, but we tend to influence people in the wrong way, with maybe not really wanting to spoil someone's name, but eventually we do. But more than spoiling someone else's name, we spoil our credibility. Okay, so it's very important in the influence, in your circle, again, coming back to the circle of influence, it's self-leadership. How am I leading myself today? How am I being respectful to people. Okay, we go back to the slide.
Should we move to the next one?
Yes, we can. Okay, like I said before, intimidation is about my way or highway. And today's session that I'm doing with you is very short, it's very crisp about being the influencer. Honestly, this is like a 5-hour session, but I want you to get maximum out of what it is I want to bring to you today. So intimidation is not a great way to influence people, but people do try it, and they try to intimidate people. And what happens with that? Let's see what happens with that. People are not happy. Okay, you do not have happy people around you. They do not really want to look up to you. They are disengaged. Disengaged is their cutoff. So what would happen in an ideal work environment when you are in a work environment in the next couple of years and you try to intimidate someone? Let's see. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. So without, Sneha ma'am, can you read this for me? The polling is in the center of my screen.
So without trust, influence is nothing more than coercion and manipulation.
Okay. So trust is the glue that sticks us together. Okay. People always want someone they can trust. People always want someone they can rely on. And to be a good influencer, you have to build that trust. Trust takes time, and trust is important to start from today. From this day, saying, I am someone who wants to build trust. Okay, moving on. Yes, Neha ma'am?
Move to the next.
Yes. Trust and if you can read it for me.
Trust and the speed at which it is established with clients and employees is the essential ingredient for any high performance, successful organization.
Okay, so what does this mean? I know it's a whole bunch of so many words. What does it really mean? So trust you need in where you're working in a work environment. So an example of this is there was a US company that was manufacturing goods, and they had a competitor in Japan who was manufacturing the same goods, but at 40% more. So there were goods and there were products and services that they were able to get much more out of. And this US company said, we will die out. Our company will die out because we're not being able to keep up with the company in Japan. And then when they had a survey to find out what was happening, each employee from the Japanese company was able to be more productive right up till 40%. So each employee was giving way more than this US company. And the US company managers tried to force them, tried to explain to them that you need to work harder, you need to work at more speed, you need to get more done. But you know what they lost out on? There was no trust with the management and the people who were working, the workers. Why? Because the workers knew if I worked more, the managers will make more money, we will get nothing out of it. We don't really trust them. What happened in the end? The US company died out. Yeah. So trust is something we build every day. Trust is something that we need to know that I'm going to be intentional with every person I meet, every communication I make. I need to be someone they can trust. And then trust becomes part of what you do. Going on.
Ma'am, here I would just like to ask that wouldn't this also be true for college going students? Like,
Yes.
they come into leadership positions as the class representative or a house leader. They're
Yes.
also put into groups for creating projects.
Yes.
So wouldn't trust factor be important for them when they are getting a team together and working on a project?
Even more so, because all they have is trust, right? And when you're in a position like that, you cannot pay people in the team and say, hey, get this job done, I will pay you 10,000 each for getting it done. Everything is about trust and appreciating your team. And it's very important. And in all of that stress, you can tend to be mean and say, hey, you didn't do a good job. Yaar, kya kiya aapne yaar? Aap kuch karte nahi ho. You know, I have to do everything. But if you can be the influencer and say, yes, I know you can do it. And if you're stuck, I'm there to help you. So you build those bonds even more, that everyone loves you and says, you know, this guy is amazing. I want to be in his team.
Absolutely, yes, yes. So definitely the students will, have a lot to make note from this, because it's not only just the leaders in the corporate world who are influencing, but in the classroom they are influencing their peers as well.
Correct. And even Sneha ma'am, more so now, because ever since we have been in lockdown, and we cannot meet each other face to face, because before we could influence with our body language and with our, gestures and all the way we dress, we could influence people. But now it's more on phone calls. So
Right.
the way you speak, the conversation you have has to be even more influencing, right? You
Right.
have to put even more effort, because all you have is your voice.
Right.
You know, we are very lucky to have this platform where they can see me and they can understand what it is I want to say. But when you're talking one-on-one to someone on a call, it's a little bit difficult. So I would encourage the students from today, in all your phone calls, in all your conversations, in all your texting, make sure there is that trust factor. Yes. So when I started my session, there were these 3 questions that you, in your subconscious mind, were asking me. Okay, we'll read the 3 questions, Sneha ma'am.
Sure. Do you care about me? Can you help me? And can I trust you? I'm sure a lot of attendees are, thinking about these questions now.
All these participants were like, what is this session about? Does she really care about us? Can she really help us? And can I really trust her? You know, and yes, I care about you, and that's why I want to come alongside you and explain to you that maybe you had these questions in your mind about, when I am a bigger person, I'll be able to influence people, or what is influence about. And so I want to break it down to make it easy for you to understand. Yes, I want to help you. Even after the session is done, I want to keep in touch with you. We have our social platforms. I want to be there for you. And can you trust me? Yes, you can. In the same way, now I'm going to ask you, there are 608 participants right now on this. People want to know from you, do you care about them as an influencer? Can you help them? And can they trust you? If I were to ask you these questions, would you be able to answer all 3? Do you really care about people? Those that you influence, do you really want to help them? And are you a trusting person? Okay.
Those are definitely some questions that, to ponder upon. Should I move on to the next slide, ma'am?
Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. So how can you increase your influence? Influence comes from adding value to others. What it is that you can do for your peer, what it is that you can do for your friends, what advice can you give them? For most of us, we think that, oh, we have a phone, let's take a nice picture, let's wear some nice clothes, let's be on Instagram, and let's be the influencer, and wow, I have 10 people following me. You know, these followers will not come to help you when you're sick. These followers will not give you advice when you're stuck. Okay, you need to have real people that you can add value to, and real people who can add value back to you. Yes, it's important to get those selfies. Yes, it's important to have your great Instagram account looking brilliant, or your Facebook, or your LinkedIn, or your Twitter. All of that is great. It is social platform. It is social. It's not personal. Remember when we said self leadership, how am I leading myself? How am I adding value to people that I love? Making sense?
Absolutely. It's really now that the young students are all over social media, and a lot of them on Instagram and Facebook, so definitely the term influencer, I think, is very easy to connect to the social media influencers.
Correct.
Largely, people perceive it is only that, that somebody of that kind can be an influencer. But like you are rightly mentioning, that it can be anybody and everybody influencing each other.
Correct. And I want to tell you, like most of the influencers out there, like the actors, the bloggers, the fashion stylists, most of them are my friends. So I know that they have a company, an organization that manages their account. Even they can't manage their account. So the company manages and says, send me 10 pictures for 10 days. I'll put the quotes, I'll color correct, I'll do this, I'll do that. And they pay these companies from 30,000 to 50,000 per month to manage their account. So the kind of the feeds go to various groups, and their following increases, or they buy followers. This is their business because it's their social platform. It's their office. The Instagram is their office. And we cannot be depressed and say, oh my God, this person has like 20 million followers. I have like 20 only. Okay? That is a mix of many things that we really don't understand the entire picture. We just see the followers and we believe that, oh yes, they have the power to influence so many people. So many might be even dummy followers, or so many might be like things that they don't even manage themselves. When I meet some of the influencers, they're not really trusting. They're not really themselves because they've had someone else manage their image. For you, I want you to manage your image. I want you to be that power that has the voice to speak. And I need you to grow yourself, to really want to learn and add value to yourself so you can add value to others. Okay, so you have to keep growing and you have to keep putting that into yourself. Okay, we go ahead. Yes, Neha, ma'am? Okay. So what is reflection? Reflection is something we do at the end of the day, and we try to understand, what did I do right today? What did I do wrong? And what it is that I can do differently? Can I maybe speak to this person in a certain way because this is really not working? Are people able to understand what I'm trying to speak? So communication here also plays a very important role. Okay, for many participants, I understand that it's easy for you to communicate to people because you're an extrovert. So for some people, being influencers, they're extroverts and it's easy to communicate, they love people. But what do you do if you're an introvert and you have certain apprehensions, or you're a little bit unsure that, यार इससे बात कैसे करूं, या लोग क्या सोचेंगे, या what is going to happen, and do they like me, I said this, maybe I'm not sure, and there's so much of fear. And that's okay, because sometimes fear is good, because with fear you want to be your best, and sometimes when you don't have fear, you don't really care about people, you just do anything. So fear is a good emotion. All emotions are good emotions. Depends how you use your emotion. Okay, so while I end this PowerPoint presentation, I am just going to we're going to look at a graph, which is a profile of a celebrity actor. I cannot take his name. And from his graph, we are going to understand 4 things. DISC. What is that? That is, in each person, we are a combination in different levels of our dominance, influence, steady, and compliance. Okay? And with this, we either are stuck or we can grow further knowing where we are in our graph. Everyone has a different graph. Every style is a good style. It has its positive and negative. But as a certified coach, I try to understand the graph, where you're at and where you can be, and where are some of the little bit of the issues that could be resolved. Sneha ma'am, if we could just pull up the graph. Okay, so in the graph, we have the first graph and the second graph. Sneha ma'am, if you can just read the graph for me. On top, we have natural style. We have the natural and adapted, right? Sneha ma'am, your mic is off. Okay, so I'm going to explain these graphs. One is a natural style and one is an adapted style. What is a natural style? So natural style is when you're at home, when you're more relaxed, and how you behave, how is your communication, how people understand you. And the adapted graph is when you're outside. So you're outside in your college, you're outside with friends, you will soon be at your workplaces. So you have to adapt to be a certain type of person, okay? So in this, we can see D is dominance, it's at 14 in both the graphs. Then we have I, which is at 8 and 32. Then S at 83 and 86. And C, which is 93 and 91. So the D and I, which is the red and the yellow graph, are people who are more extroverted. They're people's persons, they're task people. So a high D would be like a Donald Trump, like, I want this done, I'm going to do it, blah, blah, blah. An I style person would be someone who's all about people, who loves talking, who loves socializing. So it comes naturally to an I. And S is more about getting the job done, is a very good listener, and who can only do one job at a time. So they are more task oriented. And a C style is a more introverted kind of person. Okay. So being from the acting field, this person struggled because he's more of an introvert than an extrovert. Okay. So how is it that people look on a graph? Is I take them through an assessment and then they understand their graph and where it is that they need to make certain changes. Okay. So when we see the 50 line, that's your energy line. Above the energy line is what people can see. So we need to raise certain levels to the energy line where people can see you. Okay. So thank you, Sneha ma'am, for the graph. That was just a visual understanding of people's styles and how they communicate, where they could have certain issues. I know that I will have many questions about communication also from the participants. We are at 11:40. Is that a good time to open questions?
Ma'am, we still have some time. We can, continue. Yeah.
Okay, so we will continue and make it a little interesting. We will watch another video.
Okay.
Okay. We will watch another video of this person that I have been following for the last 2 years. And I am very intrigued. I'm very curious on how he has used YouTube. And I know there are lots of YouTubers, but he has used YouTube to make so much money. And Sneha ma'am is going to pull out the video. So we have a little bit of a watch on this person.
It's got everything from music videos, fashion and makeup tutorials, DIY repair tips. YouTube is the go-to place for videos on just about anything. With billions of monthly users, it's also a money-making machine for people known as influencers. Well, now Forbes has published a list of the highest-earning YouTubers, and on top is, get this, an 8-year-old boy who reviews toys. And with me is DW social media editor Jared Reed. I need to get my toddler on YouTube.
Exactly.
So what's behind this? Tell me more.
Okay, so we're clearly in the wrong profession because this kid, Ryan, who's on the top of the Forbes list, he earned $22 million this year for what sounds like the best job ever. Basically, he gets to play with toys, his parents film him playing with it, and they stick that on YouTube. His channel is called Ryan's Toys Review, and they put up very short, very colorful videos, and they've made him one of the most popular influencers online. They launched the channel 4 years ago when Ryan was 3, and since then his videos have racked up 26 billion views, and that makes him today the highest paid YouTube star.
So can you believe this person is made millions of dollars enjoying what he does? And all he does is he has to review toys. He gets the best of toys from the best of companies where he just has to play them. And all he says is, I love this toy. I'm so happy. And everyone's like, yay, let's buy this toy. Let's do this. Let's do that. So influence is all about, you know, how you can kind of make people happy and you be happy at the same time, right? It's not out of your comfort zone. It's not like I'm saying, go and climb Mount Everest and then you can influence people. I'm saying, where are you right now in life? And you being happy and making people happy around you is influence. And this kid started with just explaining to other children how it was, to play with a certain toy and how it was to be happy. And everyone just were glued on and everyone just wanted to subscribe. And by the end of it, he's made millions and millions of dollars. Sneha ma'am, what would you like to do that you could make like $1 million?
Oh, social media influencing? Never tried that, but definitely would like to get some more tips from you.
Yes. So yeah, everyone I'm sure is on Instagram, right? What do you all use nowadays? Instagram? Do you all even use Facebook?
Y'all can let us know your answers in the chat box.
Absolutely, let me know. And where is it that you're struggling with your social platform? Because obviously on a social platform, you have a voice that you want to say something. So do not get confused with your social platform and your personal life. Okay, your personal life is for yourself. Your social platform is for others to know. So if you are going around and taking silly pictures and putting on your Instagram and saying, everyone knows about my life. Yeah, because you want everyone to know about your life. That's what you did, putting it on the social platform. So do not be confused with your personal life and your social life. Okay. As you keep working on your personal life, getting better at communication, getting better as a person, adding more value, what it is that I need to learn. So everybody knows those things, right? That I am really good at these 5 points. I want to get even better in my strengths. So you know what are those areas of growth that you need to focus on. Okay, like I am going to focus on these things and I'm going to get good at it so I can help others to get good at it. And in the process, I get to be a great influencer. In my time, we would look up to Nelson Mandela, we would look up to Mother Teresa, but as you see, it's getting more relevant with kids at 8, at 10, at 15. How much more can you do in your age group where you are so equipped, where you can manage things yourself, you can manage your own platform, you know exactly how you want to look in the next 5 years, what it is that you want to say, what area of work you want to be in. Everyone has that power. I'm saying use it. Do not wait for the position. When you help people, people will give you the position. Okay? I repeat again, do not wait for the position to come to you. Add value to people and people will give you the position. When people give you the position, you will never lose that position. Okay? Yes, Neema?
Yeah. Shall I come back to this?
So we had reflection. Reflection is something we do every day. We go to the next slide. Okay, Neema, you read this for me?
Sure. You have to lead yourself better and others will follow.
Correct. Okay, we lead ourselves better. We work on ourselves. We add value to others. Next.
Ma'am, I think there is some pop-up box on your screen. You can just close that.
How do I close it?
Just the close icon on the top left. On that box itself, there will be a close icon on the top.
Yeah, that's what I can see. Can you see my box?
Not yet.
Okay.
But is that gone now?
No, it's not. But it's okay. You can continue.
Yeah. So we are also talking about mastering your ability to positively influence others is the key to personal and professional growth. Yes, now a lot of students here, will be getting into a professional career. So how do you think they should be influencing people in their personal lives and professional lives?
So I believe that influence has to start from today. We are going to agree on that. From this very day, you're going to be intentional and saying that what it is that I can do for myself to master and to get better at it. Okay. How is it that I'm going to move in my compass, which is east, west, north, south, and be intentional about our peers? And when you finally get into the work arena, when you finally get to maybe running your own business, influence will always be about respect. Okay, where you respect yourself, where you respect others.
Very, very much agreed on that, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the end of a very short slide. I have my Instagram. Can we pull that out?
Yes.
Possible. So if those who want to DM me, for those who want to keep in touch with me, I'm very active on Instagram. I post a lot of things. I'm also part of NAMG, which is the Academy for Grooming and Training. So I'm one of the key mentors who brings leadership principles. As part of NAMG, we groom and train aspiring models. So this is my Insta account, which is Gwen_Athaide. On Facebook, I'm Gwen Athaide, and we are the lead team. I'm the lead team that helps you to lead yourself, to analyze where you are, to help you to grow with your leadership, and to be able to measure your growth. Okay.
Right. Thank you so much for a wonderful session, ma'am.
Thank you.
Some of the key points have definitely opened up, a lot of questions, and those have answered a few of them. That definitely it's not just about, being out there on social media and influencing people. And like you rightly mentioned that just having those 1 million followers or that wouldn't really count, because nowadays we see a lot of young people getting affected by the number of followers and the number of likes that they get on each and every photo.
Correct.
So the
Correct.
entire term of and the meaning of influencing is changed currently, and we are very glad that you have come here and given us some time on taking this session and explain the real meaning of what it is to influence and become a person of influence. We have some questions, shall we?
Just ma'am, when you very good point. In fact, यही बताने वाली थी कि before this lockdown happened, I was on a camp. This is in November. और बहुत सारे youth थे. They were all kids, and we were taking pictures at the campsite. And it was at nights that I saw this girl, and she was sleeping with her phone in her hand.
Okay.
The phone was in her hand. So I was like, what is happening, So सुबह I asked her कि आपके phone ऐसे क्यों, मतलब why were you sleeping with your phone in your hand? She was like, because what if someone likes my picture? Posted about the campsite, और मुझे खाली 3 like आए थे, and maybe at 2 o'clock in the night, maybe people would be watching it, and I would get 10 more likes, and maybe what if I had a comment and I didn't reply? Okay, so many kids have this anxiety कि मैंने picture post कर लिया, अभी comment आएगा तो क्या होगा, and like होगा तो क्या होगा, so you're so dependent on what people are thinking of you that you're not living your life.
Right.
You need to understand it's a social platform. Yes, I have put the picture out there. Whoever will see my picture will see my picture. जिसको comment करना है करेंगे, and I'm going to keep this hour in the evening to check my comments. 24/7 मैं अपना phone check नहीं करने वाली, because you get the anxiety doesn't help you. Okay, this anxiety will destroy your hormonal balance. तो बहुत सारे बच्चे को क्या होता है कि they have other issues and wondering, अरे I have diabetes or I have health issues. You're seeing the later effects of what you have started. With
Correct.
anxiety, being anxious, not eating properly, not sleeping properly. Kids, you need to eat on time, sleep on time, check your phone on time. Okay, your phone does not rule your life. अब तो मेरा phone तो is on flight mode. When you sleep, phone on flight mode. This is my time to sleep. This is my time to be on Instagram. I'm going to do 100%. I'm going to enjoy myself, but that time ends. Then I move to the next thing. Okay. As being an influencer, everybody, you need to be able to self lead. I'm going to lead myself. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to live right. I'm going to be positive so that people can see. You know, you have to be real. You can't be some nakli person and say, पता है मैंने ये किया, पता है मैंने वो किया, but people know you're lying. Okay, so be real, guys. Be real and be. I want to see all once this lockdown is done, and I want to know how this session has changed your life and what have you done positively to be an influencer. Because trust me, you will see that difference. You will see that change. Okay,
Right.
incredible.
Right. Definitely agreed with that, ma'am, that there has to be a certain, time for managing yourself, and, time management is also very important with that generally, leads your life and how you control your time and life. So that will definitely, come out how you behave as a person and what your actions are. So self management definitely is one of the key things that we will be noting down. Also with that, ma'am, we have a lot of questions that have come in the Q&A box. And
Wow.
uh, so there are some really interesting questions.
Okay. Can I say no comments if it's too interesting?
There are a lot of them asking that, so what if we are, somebody who's an introvert? To become a person of influence, we need to talk to people, we need to, share a message, or we need to talk about a few things, but we are not that extroverts. So how any tips for them? How can they be a person of influence?
Okay, so for those who are introverts, you're still talking to your mother, you're still influencing your father, you're still influencing your cousins. Your concern is जब वो बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म आएगा और मुझे हजारों लोगों के सामने बात करना है तब क्या होगा. But you're starting right now. You are when you needs to be that extrovert. You are in your house when you're like नहीं ये काम नहीं करना है. Yeah, but how did you do that? You're an introvert. You became an extrovert because you didn't want to do something, right? So we can make those changes when we need to. We need to be intentional. Ki haan, I'm an introvert, but on this thing, I will be an extrovert for this specific time. उसके बाद मैं अपने natural graph में चली जाऊँ.
Right. And even at times, probably their actions may also speak louder than words.
Correct. So with a high S style and a C style, they are more action oriented. Like if I tell them to do a certain task, they will do it perfect. S and C are amazing. They bring great ideas to the table. So they are influencers in that zone. Yes, an I and a D are more like authoritarian, like a Donald Trump, yahi karna hai, nahi to get lost kind of attitude. But some people don't like that kind of influencers. Do you want to be that kind of influencer where you're so extroverted that people don't like you? Or you want to be that gentle introvert? So it's not a look at your every side has positive and negative. What are you doing with it? How are you making the best of what you have?
Right. The balancing is the key.
Correct. Balancing is the key.
Correct. Ma'am, we have some questions with a different point of view that we are definitely talking about become a person of influence, but there are also a couple of questions that are coming in as how to stop getting influenced, stop having that bad influence in yourself.
I am telling you, that is such a good question. I don't know who asked that question, but such a good question. Is there one person who asked that question or many?
There are a couple of them that are asking about.
You know, hats off to you. This is a brilliant question. And trust me, every question is a good question. You might think, ye stupid sa question hai, main kyun puchu? But every question is a good question. So bad influence is also, like, remember when we were kids and our family told us, iske ghar pe mat jao. Yeah, don't be with these friends. They are bad influence. Okay, so bad influence sticks. And we need to be able to decide with this friend, okay, with Ramu, is he adding value to my life? Can I trust him? What is he giving to me? Those three important questions. When you think about this person, is this person doing anything for me? No. Then I need to now, in my communication, have some kind of barrier and have some kind of boundary saying, thank you very much. And this happens in relationships, right? When people are a bad influence and saying, Pata, you're no good. No good will come out of you. You don't even look that great. I don't care about you. So in relationships, what happened? People kind of are a bad influence. And then you're like feeling sad that why did this person say this to me? But at the same time, being the influencer and being able to lead yourself, मुझे यही कहना है कि you should be able to say, I am not going to take those words from you because I don't believe those words. I believe I'm a good person and I believe that good will come out of me. And if you can't see that good, I'm sorry. Okay, so communication is key. How are you communicating to yourself when you hear someone say something and you say, no, I'm not going to accept that. Okay, so if I give you food to eat, pav bhaji, you're going to be excited. You're like, wow, this is amazing. I just made it. It's hot. It's yummy. If I give you 5 days old pav bhaji that I kept outside at the window, will you eat it? No. Why? Because you can physically see there's bacteria. This is not good for me. If I eat it, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be in hospital. Now it's COVID time. Agar main hospital chal jaungi, to pata nahi COVID bhi, will stick onto my body. Okay. So in the same way, when people are talking to you, you have to see it like pav bhaji. Is this good for me? Am I going to eat this conversation? Am I going to absorb this? Or is this bacteria pav bhaji? कि मुझे नहीं खाना है, मुझे ये इन सब चीजों से नफरत है. I don't even believe these things.
Right. Filtering out,
Filtering out.
what you take in and what you not. With that, ma'am, now in the current times that everybody is at home, there are a lot of WhatsApp forwards, circling around. So with that, also, we have people forwarding, many news, what comes to them, without checking the authentic source. Do you think that would be right? Something to do, you're actually influencing others by forwarding?
Again, that is bad influence. Is bad influence for yourself. I know so many people from day one of coronavirus, they were reading itna sara material, reading. Oh, ye hoga, wo hoga. They got sick because the body goes into flight mode, into fear mode. So your body can either be in a happy mode where your enzymes are working, where your mind is fresh, where you're listening to music, your mind is in your work, or you can be in a fear mode. In the fear mode, the body is not working 100%. Your body is so busy trying to repair all this damage that you're creating. So you need to get out of this zone and say, I believe that I will be safe. I will believe that I will take all precautions so that I never get COVID. But what am I doing with my education? Right now, I need to focus on this so that once this time is done with lockdown, I will be at a better level. I will be at a higher place. I will be better than my peers, East and West. I will be moving more towards North in my compass. Okay. So I request you to cut all the unnecessary WhatsApps, unnecessary reading. It's a forward, just delete it. You don't need it. Okay, if there's an earthquake, if there's a building falling, maybe that's what you need to know, but nothing else. Okay.
Correct. Ma'am, when you just spoke about that circle, and that was a very interesting thing. You can influence the people at your same level. That's the east and the west, and the north and the south are the different people. So there is a very interesting question on that. Some of them have asked that it's very easy to influence people who are friends, but it's difficult to influence seniors or who are at a position above you. So how can you make that easier?
So like that's exactly why I used both the videos of kids who are in a much younger age group. They have very little experience of life, they have very little knowledge, but who have they influenced? Every direction. Okay, so do not think that, oh, I am 18 years old, I am 20 years old, I am 16 years old, how will I move in my compass? It will happen when you are authentic. It will happen because you're always growing yourself. You are so much more than everyone around you that people want to know your advice. You will be amazed because even your teachers, even your principal will be interested in knowing what it is, what are the new methods that we can use, what are the new ways we can follow. So I'm saying to you, use this time to grow yourself. And you can only do one thing. You can either grow yourself, or you can live in fear, or you can be busy on social platforms, achieving nothing. Okay, you can be watching all such sorts of things. Is that giving money to you? Is that giving some kind of growth to you? If something is helping you, do it. If think of if it's really not helping me, why am I wasting my time? Where's my self leadership here?
Right, right, right. Ma'am, with that, there's a another question that's coming from Sapna Jha. Is emotional intelligence and empathy important to have an effect on influencing others?
Absolutely. I think emotional intelligence is now even more important than IQ. So you can learn something and mug a book, but EQ is about understanding social, what is my social regulation, how am I regulating myself when I'm speaking to other people, how I'm regulating and motivating people. So there is an assessment with EQ where you understand where you are at a graph. Like I showed you the last graph, which was a DISC profile. You have an EQ profile to understand where you are.
Okay.
And sometimes with some people with emotions, they are so driven by emotions that they cannot see the reality of a situation. Okay, example, you can be driving your car at 10, you can be driving your car at 100. Okay, so emotions is like driving, but at what speed are you driving? Okay, so we check that, we understand where you're at. And are your decisions, are you making this decision because it's emotional, because you're driving at 100, you're like, I need this done, or you're more calm at 10, where you're enjoying the environment, enjoying the scene, wow, this is so beautiful, the rain is so nice, and I'm enjoying the greenery, and making those decisions. Okay, so EQ also is important. Like she asked, EQ is important. Having empathy towards people is important. Some people don't have it. Let's be honest. Some people struggle with it. So it's something you can work with.
Correct.
EQ is easy to understand. If I were to coach someone on EQ, it would be easier to understand, but difficult to follow because you need that discipline, and then it becomes part of you. So it's like a 3-month process of coaching, working with this person.
Correct, correct. Ma'am, there is also another question that has come from Singh. I'm unsure, Mr. Singh, Miss Singh, young boy, girl. So there is a question that how can I differentiate myself, from others? Probably there are a lot of other people who are also, advocating for the same cause, or they're talking about similar topics. So how can you differentiate from them? How can you have more influence on more people?
So I would ask, what are your 3 strengths? I would ask this person, what are your 3 strengths? And what is your specific cause that you are running for? Okay, so if each one of us had to have one cause, there would still not be enough causes to work for in the world, in the environment, in everything. Okay, so there are so many things we can work for. There are so many things we can influence people into, which is good things. Okay, so I would say to you, yes, there is competition. Even in my field, there's competition. There might be thousands and thousands of people who do exactly what I do. But how do I do it differently? How do I bring the Gwen factor to it? Only the Gwen can do it, right? So who is this person who asked this question?
We have Mr. Singh, Mr. or Miss Singh, so I don't have the salutation.
Sing.
Singh. Yeah.
Sing it to me. How would you be different? How would you bring that sing into what you want to do? How would you be the sing influencer? Okay, the 1, 2, 3 strengths. I don't even want to know about your weaknesses, because we all have like a million. We're not even working on our weaknesses. I want to know the strength. What are you running for? How are you different? What is it that you can bring on the table? And trust me, when you write that down and you see that for 21 days, it'll change.
Right. That's interesting. And we have the very next question from Pratik Bakale. Uh, he's asking that if you want to be an entrepreneur, is it important to be an influencer?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you will be then a positional entrepreneur. And normally on the compass, let's be honest, positional influencer is right at the bottom in the south, because people have to follow you. I'm going to get a paycheck. अरे बात तो मानना ही पड़ेगा, और option नहीं है. Okay, but how much better it will be if you are an influencer with respect, and people want to follow you because they respect you, they love you. And why do they do that? Because you started that discipline on June 5th, 2020 and said, I want to be a good entrepreneur. I want to practice everything now. So when I get there, it will just be part of me.
Correct. So yes, it's not just that the most famous people need to be more influencing, but even people at leadership positions are definitely, it's a must that you start getting into that habit of influencing others and having that positive influence on others.
Correct. How many of us know of even negative influencers? How many of us know of actors that we had such great respect for, and then they open their mouth, or then some personal story comes out and you're like, ye kya bakwas hai? This is really sad, and I never really thought of this person in this way, and why did these things had to open up, and now I don't really like this person. Okay, why? When you're negative, you've always been negative, and there was just that you needed that one instance to expose you. And sometimes you're at such a high level that you cannot even repair it. You can't even fix it. It's the repercussions of what you have done is way more. So my only humble request to you is, at this place in life, be authentic. So finally, when people try to expose you, rip you apart, there's nothing. You are still you. You are still authentic. You are still this amazing person.
Right. Ma'am, when we're talking about the positive influence and the negative influence, so there are a lot of times that somebody says something not very quickly, but kind of it is taken in a negative way by the others, and that criticism follows. So how can one take criticism positively when you try to go out there and influence people?
So first of all, it's very important in self-leadership to know who you actually are. So people can call me an idiot, or people can say Gwen is not that great, I don't really know. So people criticize all the time, and the higher you move, people will criticize you all the more. So understand one thing: as much as we want people to love us, in 100%, only maybe 50 or 60 people will love us. We will always have those 40% critics who, no matter what we do, will never like what we do. And once we understand that, accept that, it's a little bit difficult. It's one like in that davai, that neem ki davai, that's like, oh, I don't like this neem ki davai, but you know what? All the worms will die with it. So sometimes we have to take that pill and say, yes, no matter what I do, and I'm trying to be right, and I'm trying to be good, people are going to criticize me. So in the center of my compass, what have I written for myself? Who am I really? Okay, so that is important.
Right, right. So yes, we definitely need to have, these qualities, that you have to be positively taking that criticism, and rather take it as a constructive criticism. Probably, there will be people who will try to pull you down, but take it in a positive way and see that definitely it will help you improve and help you make better than yourself. Yeah.
So I want to ask the participants, like, in the negative criticism, आपको कैसे criticism मिलती है? Like, what do people criticize you about? I don't even know. Like nowadays, what would they criticize about? Would they criticize about the way you speak, or how you do a particular assignment, or what would some of the criticisms be? If anyone can put it on the chat box about आजकल, also because of lockdown and everyone's so frustrated, what are they really criticizing others about?
So we are getting answers that, somebody puts you that, you have low confidence, the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you walk and talk, being too much open minded, how we behave. So a lot of these kind of answers coming in. Body language, body shaming, yeah.
Body
That
shaming.
uh,
Okay.
there's no appreciation coming, like, flat. No appreciation at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're moving towards the end. I would really request you to not kind of be upset when people body shame, right? Because we all are blessed with certain bodies. This is the body God has given us. We live in it. We have no choice. But also at this time, we need to be careful what we're eating. We're in lockdown, and we can be eating anything, not really taking care of ourselves. So I would request you to take care of yourselves. Be careful what you're eating. Have good health. In fact, some of the books you can read also is Today Matters. This is one of John Maxwell's book. Then we have another book, which is Lose Weight, Gain Shape. Okay, so this is Mickey Mehta on losing weight, gaining shape, and invest in yourselves. Okay, invest in yourselves, take care of yourselves. It's not about buying Shein के मैंने इतने सारे discounted कपड़े लिए, 20 कपड़े लिए. Okay, buy those 2 or 3 things. Buy nice clothes. I'm sure you all they had a class on styling, right?
Yes, yes, they had that class by Nishant.
Okay, so have those necessary things in the wardrobe that really suit your body. Am I pear shaped? Am I apple shaped? Am I triangular shaped? And my shoulders? And so boys are differently in their body structures, girls are differently. So what am I wearing to make me look good? And am I getting up in the morning, or pura din I'm in my pajamas and kind of doing things? Or am I having a bath, looking nice for myself? Okay, so do things for yourselves. You're like young. I mean, this is the time you should do, like, live your lives, be happy, get your tutorials if you want to learn about how to make a new beard. I don't know what other tutorials for the haircuts. Try your do it yourself haircut. For girls, you can learn some makeup, and just be happy. I know it's a difficult environment, but no one's stopping us from being happy.
Right, right. With that, we definitely spoke about all these things that, are coming as criticism. And with that, a lot of times, people are stuck up with what will others think about me. How can somebody get rid of that, notion?
So I'll tell you, very good question again. It also depends on your disc profile. Okay, so for a D style person, they don't really care. I don't care anything about me. मुझे जो करना है मैं कर लूंगी. Okay, so that's a D style. I style is more concerned about people because they are influencers. They're more about relationships. S and C also, because they're introverts. They really have that fear. Ki, did he say this? But did he mean this? He said, "Oh, you're good." Good means, am I looking good? Am I a good person? So they have all these questions going on their mind, but they're too scared to ask. Agar मैं पूछ लूंगी तो what will they think? Okay, my thing to you is, if you can understand your disc profile, what it is you are on the graph, and how you can improve your communication, how you can understand what are the positives and negatives, If you cannot do this graph, then understand that you need to be confident in yourself.
Right, 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 right. With that, ma'am, we are just running short on time. I'll quickly take 2 to 3 questions more because the Q&A box is buzzing a lot. So we have a question from Mohammad Ayan Goshi. He wants to ask, how do we know if we have made an impact or we have influenced someone or something?
Always ask for feedback. Okay, so feedback is something we never forget. Reflection is something we think of at the end of the day, but always ask for feedback. And when someone is giving you feedback that, hey, I think this is what you did right, but this is what you didn't do so good, and you're like, why did I ask for feedback? Okay, but you always ask the person, why do you think, what could change? And that really helps you. And when you are giving feedback, also it's important to say, hey, I think you did this great job, but I think I suggest that maybe you could change this a little bit. Okay, so it's important to give positive feedback. And even if you're giving something that's a little difficult for people to digest, do it in a nice way.
Correct,
It
correct.
takes a lot of effort to be nice. Okay, trust me, I'm not joking. This is very difficult. Being nice, saying things in a nice way, but it will come back to you. If you do this, people will automatically change the way they speak, and automatically see you'll be the influence. So they'll be like, yeah, this person speaks so well and is so polite, and I should be like that. That's the influence.
Correct, correct, correct. Quickly, just moving on to the next question by Delphina. What are the challenges or cons of being an influencer?
What are the challenges? The challenges of being an influencer is that it takes a lot of work. The challenges of being an influencer is that you have to invest in yourself, continually wanting to grow. The day you say, you know what, I know it all, I'm not going to learn anymore. And many people in celebs, many models, many singers, many bloggers, from every arena say, I'm the best. That's it. You cannot tell me any better. That's the day you start dropping. Okay, so be very careful when you grow in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whenever I reconnect with you and you tell me how you've made that growth, always say, I will grow some more. Okay.
Correct. That's
so that's a challenge.
Yes, yes. So that would also connect to that feedback and taking that criticism well.
Feedback to feed forward.
Right, right, right. Ma'am, there's the next question by Ajay Mandwani. Does an influencer always need to portray themselves as happy, even when they are upset about something?
No, not at all. You can just be yourself. And yeah, maybe you don't want to be screaming and angry, but if you have to come across as someone firm, if you have to come across as someone who needs to make a point, then you're the influencer that needs to make a point. Like this young girl who is very firm, and if you see her videos, she can be very dramatic also, but that's what she believes in. Or you see Ryan's video, he's fun and he's like, I'm so happy. Okay, so it's who you are. If you're trying to be someone you're not, then it won't really work. And most people say fake it to make it, but sometimes you're faking it so much, then when do you stop faking it? You've made it, but then you're a fake. Then what do you do?
Right, right, right. So be as real as possible. If you're not
day one
talking to others unnecessarily, do not make a statement that may upset others as well.
Yes, and if you do not know a rumor, do not spread a rumor, because you will lose credibility. Your name will be spoiled in it. If you know a rumor, go to the person and say, listen, I've heard these things and let's end this now. Let's not talk about this, because tomorrow maybe they could make a rumor about me. And the person will be like, yeah, I really appreciate, you're such a good person. You came to me first and said that. It takes guts to do it, but do it.
Right, 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 right. Just the second last question, ma'am. There are a lot of questions asking once again. Requesting.
Maybe we do another session just on questions.
Yes, we should. There are a lot of them. They just want to know again what that disc profile is all about, and if you could just let them know the full form of disc profile.
Okay, so disc profile is D is dominant. So I'll just go through some of the characteristics of a D profile. So a D profile is ambitious, forceful, is direct, is independent, challenging. So this person is like extrovert in the job, wants to do multiple things. So this is a D profile. It's loud. I profile is more expressive, is more about people, friendly, talkative. You ask them to do a project, they'll be like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, maybe not. Okay. So I profile is more about people. And when I'm talking about all these profiles, I'm sure many people's faces will come in front of you. Okay. Then a S profile is more methodical, systematic. ये job complete करने के बाद ही मैं दूसरे job करूँगी. Okay, so they're more modest, relaxed, great listeners. D will not listen to you. They'll be like, मुझे ये job करना है, ये भी करना है, और उसके साथ ये भी करना है. और पता है, when I'm coming to meet you, there's a mountain on the way. तो वो mountain भी cross करके I will meet you. And you're like, what? You know, so D is like, I want everything. And the C is again an introvert, is very analytic, it will analyze things, will be exact, will be very careful, will not want to show emotion. They can win a lottery or they can lose money. They'll just be like, ठीक है. Inside emotions है. Inside बहुत सारा कुछ चल रहा है. But outside, हाँ आपने ये बोला था, ठीक है, I'll do it. But inside, like, and a D style would be like on the face. What do you think of yourself? Huh? You think you're great? Great. Fine. And the D has forgotten. D has gone to sleep, enjoyed himself. But the essence C style is like, oh goodness, this person hurt me. Wait, I will show. So every style is great. Every style has its positive, negative, and we are a combination of styles. Okay. So just a pure D, pure I, pure S, pure C, there's only 2% in the entire population that can be a pure style. We are all a combination of styles. And the main thing of knowing your DISC profile for me is to understand your natural style and adapted style. So what you are at home and what you are outside. And if there is a difference in the graph, then I want to understand, are you at stress? Why is there a difference in graph? What is causing this difference? Okay, so then I kind of, so it's very personal. Okay, so the DISC profile is very personal. Yes, we do debriefing. I explain the DISC also in groups for people to understand. I do one-on-one coaching with actors because actors are expected, like I showed you the graph of this actor, they're expected to be extroverts, right? But this person was not an extrovert. He was an introvert, but he was still successful, but still going through stress.
Right. So I hope Sejal is now more clear with that, and a lot of others as well.
Yeah, you can go online and read what is a DISC profile. I'll be more than happy then going through some of it with you. Maybe we can organize whenever it is another session just for DISC. Maybe I can give you all assessments and then you can look at your own assessment and I can do this whole presentation and then you can be like, wow.
Yes, definitely. We will definitely, plan to have more sessions, ma'am. Just before we wrap up for today, just one last question. We were talking about reflection. So we spoke a lot about, influencing others, getting influenced. Reflection, is it really important to be followed? And now that all the more, everybody is at homes, do you think reflection should be practiced on a daily basis?
I think 100%, even more now, reflection, because the days are going so fast. Like initially, it was like 24 hours at home. What am I going to do? Now the days are going so fast. There's so many things happening. Before you know it, it's lunchtime. Before you know it, it's evening. The day is gone. So if you've not reflected, the whole week is gone. What have you done in that week? Okay. What are some of the careers you all are looking at to specialize in? कि मुझे ये करना है, मुझे वो करना है. Maybe before lockdown you had a certain idea कि I will do this in life, but now there has to be a certain change, right? Because the normal is become a new normal.
Correct.
It will go back to a new normal. It will not go back to the old normal. Okay, so what it is that I need to do a little bit of change. Pehle, I would have come to your college and your college and had this presentation for you. Now we have made that change. We are online. We're still with so many participants. You are still learning, you're still growing, but we did the change. So every one of you also had to learn how to get on Zoom, how to log in, stress. Now you'll become pro. You'll become a pro at it. So what it is that you're focusing this whole week in your career, what are the changes that you need to make, need to start on the 5th of June 2020, today?
Yes, yes, yes. So, with that, any message that you want to share to the students right now before we just
My
for the day?
message to you is, first of all, I want to thank you. You could have been at so many other places, but you chose to be here, to log in, to be on the call. And from your compass, I want you to grow east and west, north and south, knowing that influence all comes from leadership and it all comes from leading yourself. Okay, so I wish you all the best. I cannot wait to see you in person. I will be in your university whenever this is things are better. I will be there. I will see you and hear these wonderful stories.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much for taking the time out and having here for this session. And you shared a great knowledge with our students. And right now, it's all the more important to learn these things because right now everybody is free at home, and there are a lot of thoughts going on everybody's mind. But definitely, this will help them structure themselves and self manage themselves. So that would definitely help. And thank you once again for sharing your experiences and your insights with our viewers. I would also like to thank the entire NAMG team, where Gwen ma'am is also a lead mentor. And I would just like to make a small announcement that the NAMG team will also be conducting more such online programs, where we will also be having more of Gwen ma'am taking the sessions. So all of y'all who have loved these sessions can have more of these. You can follow NAMG World on Instagram and Facebook for more such updates. The programs would be for all age groups, kids, teenagers, adults. We'll be having these sessions to be better prepared, for different age groups. And you can enroll for them, and you can get the details on our social media handles. With that, I would also like to thank BK Birla Autonomous College and Dr. Harish sir for giving us this opportunity. I would request Harish sir to please speak a few words on this session.
Thank you, Sneha ma'am. In fact, I did not speak much at the beginning because I wanted to listen as much as to Mrs. Gwen for her motivating and guiding speech. And I'm sure your session will be a wonderful session for all the students because it is a need of the time. And the topic was influencing, and I'm at least influenced. And I hope everyone who listened today to you, ma'am, must be influenced. And you also spoke that influencing doesn't require any position. It doesn't require any age. So anytime, yes, you rightly said, and you gave a very nice examples also that we can influence the people at any age without any position also, provided we are good in our work, we are hard worker. Yes. So with that also we can influence people.
Correct. Yes.
And you also spoke on disk analysis, which is a very professional actually analysis tool, I feel. And in such a small session, you gave a glimpse of or insight of this analysis also. So I hope people will be more now inclined towards disk analysis also. So I think it has been a wonderful session and it was very informative. And I'm sure your today's session is going to change many students' life because you gave a simple tip. Our students keep on looking at how many likes I have got, how many followers I have, or they grade themselves, they rank themselves with the this kind of social media likes and all. So I feel whatever tips you have given, whatever insights you have given is going to influence everybody's life. Even many times we grow, but we also get into such kind of likes and followers. So I think you have given a very nice example, ma'am. And on behalf of BK Birla College, our principal, our director, our management, our students, administrative staff, teachers, everyone, I extend my sincere gratitude to you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and gracing or motivating our students. I'm also thankful to NEST Academy for conducting such a wonderful session in the benefit of the students who are sitting at home. There are so many announcements, exams are not going to be conducted and so on. And therefore, this kind of sessions are going to benefit all the students. And I'm also thankful to our management, in particular our chairman, Sri Chitlangeji, our IT head, Mr. Karwaji, for providing platform for the Facebook Live, YouTube, and so many other channels. I can see so many participants here, but this is not the right figure. There are so many participants who must be watching us on Facebook, on Instagram, and so many other networks. So once again, on my personal behalf and on behalf of BK Birla College, thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
And thank you, NEST Academy. Thank you, Sneha, ma'am, Mr. Vipul Solanki, Dharmaji, and everyone for conducting such a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Our pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. And thank you once again, Gwen ma'am, for sparing the time to take this session. With that, I would definitely ask that last question to everybody. Are you influenced? Are you ready to?
Yes, I am at least.
With that, we will just wrap up for the day. And tomorrow, we'll meet you at 5 p.m. We have an exciting session for you on sports management for all the people who are sports enthusiasts and want to know more about the exciting career of sports management. Stay tuned on the same handle, BK Birla College Autonomous Kalyan. And you can also follow us on Mission Skills. See you tomorrow at 5. Stay home, stay safe.
See you, Sneha ma'am. You were amazing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.